So how do companies utilize trust? How do CEOs use it for tax benefits? What are trust fund kids? What is a trust? That's exactly what we're going to be spending today's video going over. A trust is an obligation imposed on a person or other entity to hold property for the benefit of beneficiaries. While in legal terms, a trust is a relationship, not a legal entity. Trusts are treated as taxpayers' entities for purposes of tax administration. So basically, you have this sort of thing called a trust, where you have your families in it, and you could sort of work together and sort of have this sort of family company. Now, what I'll be mainly talking about is discretionary trusts. These are trusts where you don't have to really share how much money you're sort of dispersing to many different people. This is sort of what people do to really lower their taxes, and there's a lot of benefits to a discretionary trust, and that's exactly what we'll be going over. Now, I've seen no one go over like high level content like this. Like, I'm documenting my whole journey. I'm learning about tax. I'm paying accountants. I'm reading a bunch of books. I'm doing a lot of research, and I'm just passing on every single thing I learned straight onto you guys. And I've seen like no one talk about stuff like this. They just stick to their lane, whether it's social media marketing, dropshipping. But I really want to give you guys the real taste of what entrepreneurship is and really give you guys everything I know for free, basically. So what are the benefits? A trust offers assets protection. Beneficiaries don't own the trust assets, hence it's harder for creditors to pierce through. Now, there's two ways for people to get rich in America or Australia. One, it's through winning a lottery, and two, it's through lawsuits. So that's why you really want to use trust to protect all your assets. Now, a discretionary trust offers flexibility around the distribution of income and capital. So you can literally divide your income and sort of capital with indiscretionary, meaning people don't know how much is being split up, and you have flexibility to choose how much to give to each person in the trust. Now, a trust is also entitled to 50% capital gain tax discount, meaning if you go ahead and buy a house, you sell it, you make 500 grand profit, usually you have to pay a lot in capital gains tax. If it's under a trust, you save 50% in that tax. Now, who are the players? There's a settlor, the trustee, the appointer, and the beneficiaries. That was some nice warm water. Alright, let's go through these four people. So, one, the settlor. The settlor is a person who creates the trust by settling the sum of money or item of property on a trust for the beneficiaries. The trustee. The person is the legal owner of the trust property. Although not the beneficiary owner, the trustee carries out all transactions of the trust in its own name and must sign all documents for and on behalf of the trust. The trust's overriding duty is to obey the terms of the trust deed and to act in the best interest of the beneficiaries. Next is the appointer. The appointer is a person named in the trust deed who has the power to remove and appoint trustees. This would commonly occur when the trustee dies, becomes bankrupt, or is incapacitated. In the case of a company, if anything happens, the whole company is wound up. Next is the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries are people, including entities, for whose benefit the trustee holds the trust properties to. A discretionary trust usually has a wide range of beneficiaries, including companies and other trusts. The beneficiaries of a discretionary trust do not have an interest in the asset of the trust. They merely have the right to be considered or a mere expectancy until such time as a trust exercises its discretion to make a distribution. So I can literally have a trust, have all my family members in it. They don't own anything in the trust until I distribute it out to them. Now, the general beneficiaries are those beneficiaries named in the trust deed who are eligible to receive a distribution of income or capital at the discretion of the trustee. The remaining beneficiaries are the beneficiaries automatically entitled to receive a proportionate distribution of income or capital to the extent that the trustee has not exercised in discretion otherwise. Alright, I went through the whole thing. It's pretty boring since I don't want to waste the time. You guys can just pause it, watch it for this 1 second, and here's the next thing. Why use a discretionary trust? So, disparity of income. A discretionary trust allows the trustee's discretion in determining each year which beneficiary receives any income from the activities of the trust. This has a clear benefit where a disparity of income of the beneficiaries and allows for the gift of income at reduced tax rates. So here's an example. There's a husband and wife. The trust owns an investment property and receives an income from those properties. Now, the husband is a professional lawn bowler and earns $15,000 per year after allowable deductions like bowling rags and traveling expenses to and from Europe. Now, the wife is a partner of an elitist New South Wales law firm, and she literally earns like trillions. Now, it would be better to distribute that income to the husband so he pays a lower tax rate. Since he's only making $15,000 per year, if you give him the income, he's going to be paying much less tax on that extra income compared to the wife that's making millions and is probably getting taxed at 50% or 46.5%. Example 2. A mom and dad are trustees of family discretionary, which makes big bucks each year as a holding company of the license of the business name Jerry's Big Toys. Now the son goes off to uni and the parents wants to pay his way. So instead of paying him after tax dollar, the trust can distribute an income to him from the trust, which will no doubt be taxed at a much lesser rate. Now next, asset protection, very important. Any properties held in a trust can only be attacked by creditors of that trust. So property held by a person as a trustee cannot be taken by a creditor in bankruptcy unless a debt relating to the creditor was a trust debt. Similarly, property held by a company as a trustee for a trust cannot be taken by creditors in a liquidation of that company unless the debt is a debt of the trust, meaning no one can sue you and take your money from the trust unless you've borrowed money from your company or you've made a loan under your company even though you've known you're going to go broke and you couldn't pay that off, and you put that money into the trust, then they could go ahead and sue and take that money back. But if you're not doing anything shifty like that, things in a trust stay protected and people can't take it. And as I said before, people want to sue you when you succeed. So that's why having a trust for asset protection is so important. Now, when would this be effective? A golfer is found negligent of hitting another player with a golf ball and was ordered to pay $2 million in damages. Now, the golfer owns no properties in his name, but is a trustee of a trust which owns 5 investment properties with a total value of $2 million. Can the creditors attack the trust assets? No, his 5 properties are safe. Another example, A and B commence trading a deli at New Farm. They sign a lease for 5 years and the business goes bust, and the landlord obtains judgment against them jointly and severally for $300,000. A and B goes bankrupt. Now A is married to X and they have a family home and an investment property with a total equity of $200,000. A loses the lot and his wife has to deal with the bankruptcy trustee and has to come up with $100,000. And if she can't, the family home is sold. Whereas B owns nothing. The family home that is owned by his wife is under a family trust that owns 2 investment properties owned by the family trust. Now B keeps the family home as the trust assets cannot be touched. See how powerful trusts are? Next, estate planning. So example, mum and dad die leaving one son who's bankrupt. Mum and dad leave all the assets to their son. The entire estate is lost to the trustee in bankruptcy. Since they're in a bunch of debt, the bank is going to take the house and take all the assets and sell it because they didn't set up a discretionary trust. Whereas if the mum and dad left their estate to a discretionary trust established for the beneficiary of their son and his family, the estate would have been saved. Alternatively, with proper estate planning, the assets can have been well protected well before the death of the mother and father. Do I have to give the money to the people I distribute to? Now, anyone named can be named as a beneficiary in your trust. However, usually it's limited to family members and associated trusts and companies. Now, there's no requirement for people to be informed that they've been made a beneficiary of the trust when it's first drawn up. So if you plan on making distribution to a particular person, they must be informed due to the reason that this income must be included in their tax return for that financial year. Now, this money will be taxed at the marginal tax rate, which if lower than your own, meaning lower than like 30% company tax rate, it can be an effective way of minimizing the trust taxable income. So once that money that's been distributed to that person tax has been paid on it, the remainder amount effectively becomes income of that person. However, what happens in practice is that many agreements are put in place so that although one person may pay the tax on that income and receive a nominal amount for doing so, the original controller of the trust will end up with the money. So what you can do, you need to get professional advice, is when you go ahead and set up a family trust, you can distribute money to all your family members, but in the end, the money sort of stays in the trust and in your company, and you're able to distribute money in a way where you're lowering tax at a much lower rate. So yeah, that is every single thing I know about trust. I gave you guys a lot of information. Yeah, this is super duper valuable. I can't believe I'm giving everything away because I paid accountants tons of money just to learn this, and I just want to give value back to you guys because there's no one teaching me. Like when I learned this, like last month was one of the most stressful months of my life because I was just in this new zone of accounting. I was learning all these things and my mind couldn't take all this new knowledge, and it was very stressful because there was no one to look up to or ask from. And that's exactly why I'm creating this content, because I know that a lot of people that get to this stage, this information will be super duper helpful. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this value. Question of the day: have you ever heard about like a family trust fund or something? Like that's completely new to me. I wasn't raised in wealth, so I have no idea what a family trust is, but do you know anyone else that has? Now if you want to go ahead and learn more about this and get more one-on-one attention with me and really grow and take your business to the next level to a point where it's making multi six figures per year, sign up below, fill up the application form, book in a strategy session with me or one of my team members, and we'll see if we could go ahead and help you out, because we've helped hundreds of people every single day. Before I end today's video, let's start by announcing last video's winners for $1,000 worth of courses or consulting courses with me. The winner's here. If you guys want to qualify, all to do is drop a comment below, follow me on Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll be picking the best comment every single day to give $1,000 worth of courses or consulting course to. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your support, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow with much more value. Peace. Quick heads up, I completely forgot about this. The slide that you're currently watching in this video, completely for free. If you guys want it, in the description below, click the resources. Like I put hours and hours into making these presentations. I have it in both PowerPoint for Windows and Keynote for Mac users, and I just want to give it to you guys completely for free. I don't ask for anything in return. This is my way of saying thank you, and a lot of people try to upsell these or include it into their course, but you guys, I'm giving it to you guys completely for free because that's how I roll, and that's what I want to do with this channel, just give you guys as much value as possible. So be sure to download these slides in the description below.